Good day. I'm Rob Lurie. I'm the chairman of the Zimbabwe Professional Guides Association, and together with the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority, we have a joint examinations board that works on the whole process of getting your license. Part of that, very important part of that, is the shooting exam, which is held several times a year between Harare and Bulawayo at the moment. Bulawayo has just opened up. Today we are doing a shoot in Harare at Cleveland, and I will go through the whole shoot with you. There's a few subtle changes that have happened that will be important to be showcased. As we all know now that the professional hunters and professional guides do the exact same shooting test, and what we're emphasizing today is the speed and accuracy balances that we want you to get, and the familiarity that you have with your firearm, good ammunition, good quality rifles, and that safety is the biggest key in this whole thing, that we will not tolerate any safety infringements at the range today, that'll result in an immediate disqualification. So anytime that you're around firearms, you've got to treat them as if they're loaded regardless, and safety all the time. So we're going to be going through the shoot. We're going to do an introduction with all the candidates and a couple of the examiners talking, and then we'll walk through the 5 disciplines, and then we will actually film a candidate doing each of the disciplines, maybe a couple, and I will do a talk after each one that requires it, to give you some pointers on how to do it and what you can do better to help you. The pass mark on the shooting exam is 120 points, and we quite regularly get guys scoring over 150. We've had 170 something, 180, 160 on regular occasions. So you must understand that 120 is a pretty low bar, and it's all about how much you shoot and how well you know your firearm. That's going to help you pass this exam. There's many important facets to becoming a professional guide, and probably the most important of them all is your ability with your firearm. If you don't know a tree or a bird or some grasses, nobody's life is in danger because of that. But not knowing how to use your firearm and not being proficient with it could cost someone their lives. So it is of absolute importance to practice and to be practiced, and do well with it and continue it. So I wish you all well with this, and I hope that this helps those of you who are going to be doing the shooting, and it educates others that are not in the industry, but let you know how serious we are about getting our professionals professional. That's the big key. Thank you. Accuracy shoot, the steel gong, that white piece of steel down there is your target. I'm just going through it so that there's no complications. You all should know this, obviously. Okay, 75 meters. The timing thing that we have on it, the 30-second timing thing, this is not as you walk up we start a timer. Okay, just get that right. The whole purpose of this 30-second thing is just to speed up the day, not to put too much pressure on you. On the last shoot, where we had quite a few candidates, not one person went over 30 seconds. We didn't tell them that's what we were doing. No one went over 30 seconds then. But in the past, we've had guys. So what this 30 seconds is about is, if you're going to shoot from here with your shooting sticks, okay? You're going to walk up here. You're up next. You load. You put your shooting sticks up. You get your gun ready. Once your gun is on the sticks, that's when we start just quietly the 30 seconds. We're not going to shout, time, no, none of that. Just understand that you don't have all day. Okay, so it's not about you failing. If you go 35 seconds, I'm not going to stop you at 30 and say, hey, there's time up. Just be conscious that once you're on there, don't waste too much time. It actually makes you shoot better. The longer you take, the worse it gets. You start to panic, you start to do all sorts of things. If you're going to use the tree, which you can, I know it says in the box, but in this one here, you can go up to the tree, you can sit down, you can lay down here and put your bag there and put it on top of your bag. Once your rifle is down and you're ready, that's kind of where the 30 seconds starts. Okay. So don't mess around too long. We've got a group of guys here. It's a Sunday. People are taking their time to be here. Let's not take all day. Okay. So that's what that whole deal is. Obviously, you've got 2 shots on this. Each one counts for points. If you hit the gong, you get 10 points. If you miss it, you get 0 points. Okay, very simple one.
Right, we are going live. Hit it. So if you're ready in your own time, there you go.
Okay, so we're at the accuracy shoot. We've just had the candidates shoot and explained it all beforehand, but I'd like to give some pointers on how to do this better. This is a freestyle shoot. You can use any method that you'd be able to do in the field. So you can't shoot with a shooting bench or a sandbag or anything, but everyone has to carry a backpack. My suggestion would be to put the backpack down here. This could be replica of a rock. And you put your backpack on it, you can lie on the astroturf here, and you've got a dead steady shot. Otherwise, you can come forward here. A couple of the guys are using the tree, but what my suggestion would be to cushion it. I saw one of the candidates put the rifle stock right on the wood. You're going to get recoil off that, and we saw a lot of the guys recoil and missing like that. So the last candidate that shot here put his rifle just inside of his thumb and holding it up with his finger. That's good. Otherwise, sit down and use the tree. We had a couple candidates sit down, but to the side here, you had too much movement, a lot of barrel movement. So I would suggest using the tree, but use a cushion on it, or lie down and use your backpack. That would be my suggestion. 40-meter rundown. Okay, so this is the start point at this tire, and you'll be running to that tire. That's your 40 meters, okay? So when you're over here, your rifle will be loaded and on safe with all your kit together. The timer will start with a sound. There will be an audible sound, beep, and then you run. Okay, that's when your time starts. You'll run from here to there. Let's go down there together as a group so we don't waste too much time. Right, you'll come to this point here. This line here where the soil is and this tire is the mark. Okay, round about here. Obviously don't pass here. You're going to pick up your rifle and fire at each of these 4 targets. Okay? There is not a rule on the order you need to do it, okay? But I'm going to tell you all now that it is advisable to start with the closest one, okay? When you get here, you will be puffing and panting from the run, so you're more likely to miss the furthest target or be inaccurate with it, okay? It is your choice. If you want to do it another way, it's not a problem. But I would personally start with this one, the next one, the far right one, and then come back to the one on the left, okay? Get your flow going right and come left, okay? That's what I would suggest. Because you can use extra rounds on this one. So if you want to, if you totally miss a target, you are allowed to you can start this shoot with 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6. If your gun can take 6, there's no rule on how many can be in your gun. And if you shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to put some more in and shoot, what's happening? Your time's still going, okay? So you must decide that, okay? If after your last shot you want to stop, then you stop. Then you've missed one. It's probably better to take the loss of missing that target than the time it will take to reload and shoot again. Okay, but you are allowed to, just so you know that, okay? All right. When you fire your last shot and you're done, then the timer will stop, okay? As you know, on this shoot, your total score is your points that you score from all those targets divided by your time that it takes, and then we multiply it by 35, okay? We come up with a number for that. That's your score on this. All right. Any questions on this shoot?
Ask him if he's ready. If he indicates yeah, we can put. Shoot on the line. Are we ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
Okay, so we've just done the 40-meter rundown, also known as the puff and pant. And, guys it was kind of up and down. So to give you some pointers on this and tell you why it happens. We do this that you've got to run the 40 meters so that your heart rate's up, puffing and panting, and you've got to engage the 4 targets. As you know from previous explanation, the first target is at 10 meters, the second one at 15, the third at 20, and then off to the left you've got a target at 25 meters. So what we encourage is to get your balance of speed and accuracy into a good balance. If you run down at high speed, you're going to be puffing and panting too much and not be accurate on the targets. If you get your speed right, you'll get down there and be able to. And I would say engage with the first target. You can do it in any order, but I would encourage shooting the first target at 10 meters first, because that's the one that you've got the most margin for error on because it's closest, and then shoot your 15, your 20, come across to your 25-meter target. That would be and take your time to be accurate. Accuracy counts very much in here. So get that balance of speed and accuracy. How fast you run down, how fast you shoot, and what your accuracy is. That would be my advice on this one. All right, guys, so this is our fire and movement. The fire and movement one. This is a 30-meter run. So much like there's a start point. You're ready, you're loaded, on safe, finger off the trigger, with all your kit. On the audible sound, beat, you will run down to those two small tires. There's actually a third one over there, you can see. That's your run line. Okay, so let's go down there. On this one, the same applies. You can have 4 rounds in your gun if you want. There's no limit on what you can have in your gun. There are 3 targets and 3 shots will count. Only 3 will count. So shooting more doesn't help you in that way. But if you completely miss a target, you can quickly shoot it again, and it might help. Okay, because at this range you should see. So this is the line. You see these 3 small tires? You will not pass these tires, guys. So I would just run up to behind this tire here. Okay, you pick up your gun and you shoot at that target. Okay, you then move across. We'll discuss the scoring on it now. You can shoot from here at this one if you want. Okay, standing straight is your choice. And then you come across to here and shoot at the 3rd target. On the 3rd shot, when you're done, that's when the timer stops. Okay, what I'll go through on this one is let's just see on the audible sound. So again, the same thing applies here as we discussed on the last one. On the heavy calibers, the green and the circle outside of the green is 5 points. With the 375, the green is 5, the next circle's 4. Then the next circle's 3 and 2. Nothing changes for both calibers on that, okay? So it's just that little circle outside of the green that is either 5 or 4. It's 1 point difference, that's all it is, okay? So at this range, it's nice and close. It's a 10-meter shot, guys. Remember, and I'm going to probably repeat myself, but on all of these, it's a balance of speed and accuracy. Okay? I've done the tests myself 100 times, where I've taken my time coming down here, so that I'm not puffing and panting too much, and taking my time and shooting 3 green bulls. Okay, and then see what my time is. Then I run down here, shoot fast, and my scores are a little bit not so good. And then finding the balance in there of coming down here at good speed and taking good time, not too much time and not too quick. When you throw a shot over, you'll be surprised how you'll miss that whole paper target from here. Okay, so when you're rushing. So you have to, it's up to you, and the more you shoot, you will figure out that balance of time and accuracy. Okay, that is what it is. It's every time we see big failures here, it's when someone's trying to go too fast with all of it, or too slow and getting wonderful. The 15 points, full marks, but it took 35 seconds. You know, that doesn't help. Your clients, 3 of them are squashed already. Okay, so you have to find that balance of time and accuracy. All right. Let's see anything else on that. So basically, this one is your points that you score here divided by your time that you take, and we multiply this one by 26 to get a score. Okay, that goes towards your total. At the fire and movement shoot, which requires you to run 30 meters down the range with a loaded gun on safe. You get to in line with one of the targets, you engage that target. My suggestion is reloading on the spot. Reload, move across to the next target, engage that target, reload on the spot, move across till you can get the 3rd target visual, which would be there, and engage that target. That is my advice for a field application too, because loading on the spot is safer than moving while you're loading, or moving to a point and having an unloaded gun and having something come at you. This is replicating a lion or a buffalo moving through the brush and you're trying to get a shot at it. So advice is reload on the spot, then move. Alright, everyone here, shooters. Okay guys, this is a speed shoot. Everybody will be in that building behind the concrete line there. To start with, only the range master and the guy, the candidate will come forward here. This is your shooting place, right where this tire is. You won't go past this tire. You can stand next to this tire, okay? You've got 3 targets here. Here you will be loaded with only 3 rounds in your gun. Okay, this is the one that is specifically only 3 in your weapon. Nobody has a double here, do they? No doubles. No one brave. Okay.
Okay, last time.
Yeah. So everyone with 3 rounds in here. On the instruction of the range master, you will start shooting these targets from the furthest one. Okay? The 20-meter target first. Then reload, shoot the second target. It's 15 meters. Reload, shoot the front target, which is 10 meters. Then you will open your gun, take 3 rounds out of your belt and put them in there. Like I said, not out of your pocket. Okay? Don't think that there's ways to make this in the field. You will have them in your ammo pouch. Okay? Pull them out of there, load them into your gun, rack it, and you'll shoot this first one. So it's backwards now. So what's happening? This is replicating a charge. Something's coming at you from there. Boom, it's closer. Boom, it's closer. Now you've got it staggered. Now it's running away from you. So you shoot this one, the middle one, and the far one. Okay? When you shoot the speed shoot. Score on this one is your total points divided by your time and then multiplied by 45. This shoot gives you the most points to get to your 120. Okay? If you should be scoring over 50 points on this one shoot. That's like a standard. Okay? You can get 70 on this easily. If you got 70, you only got 50 more to get to pass. Okay? This is a very important shoot. This is the big points carrying one. Okay, guys? Right, any questions? Okay, we had the speed shoot here. We've just completed the speed shoot, seen a bunch of different times, everything from 18 seconds up to 45 seconds. So again, this one is very key, speed and accuracy. You've got to find a balance of that. And in between, we noticed the reloads. This is to replicate a charging animal coming at you and then going away from you. So you'll shoot the furthest target, the middle target, the closest, then reload, and then the closest, middle, furthest. And it replicates that charge. So in between that, there's the reload. So when we have bolt action rifles, which is most of the learners have, we hold the rifle up, and loading up on your shoulder obviously is what I'd encourage you to practice. So having the rifle here, load, 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 like that. Bringing it down here to reload and bringing it back up wastes a second. If you do that 6 times, it's 6 seconds of time that you can waste. And on your reload, the more you practice that, if you're taking out of your belt and putting it in quickly, have the breech close by and have your rounds easy access on your belt. Put them in there. That's going to save you a lot of time. This shoot here is one that you should score a lot of points on. Anything from 50 to 70 points should be very easily available on this one. Okay guys, so this is the Pantera Charging Lion one. Obvious what this is replicating is a charging animal. I know we call it the charging lion, but just think of it as a charging animal. It is one of the hardest things to replicate for training, okay? And probably one of the most important. We, as pros, have come up with various things that if you guys come and do the shooting days with us, which we will be having a couple this year in Bulawayo as well, and Vic Falls now. We have the range in Vic Falls, so there will be shooting days. We will have these machines there, and we do various things where you have your head down, you look at the ground here, and when the thing reaches 7 meters, you say now, and you come up and shoot. That's how you can replicate it. It's the closest we can get, okay? Because to be honest with you, some of you and some others have finished their whole career with never having to shoot a charging animal, and that's awesome. That's great. That's how we would like it, okay? But it's not always the case. And you only will know if you can do it when it happens. So if you can practice as best as you can a situation like this, that will help. That day, hopefully when it comes, you will know what you're doing, all right? So with the charging lion now, everybody will be behind that blue blue drum there before the shoot. The candidate will come up here with the range master. Here's your line here. It's quite simple. You don't have, it's not a lot of complicated stuff. You stand here. You will load your rifle with one round. Only one in front of the range master. You'll get yourself ready. You can stand to one side or you can stand over the rope. Okay, this does come quite quick, so it will catch your leg and it might give you a little scar. So the advantage of standing over is you're straight in line, but standing to the side is not much different. Okay, you will be at the ready, rifle at the ready, safety on. Okay, the range master will ask you if you're ready. That target is coming from there, which I think is 25 meters. Okay, you'll say yes, I'm ready, and then he will start that charging target. It'll start moving. You bring your rifle up to your shoulder. You can disengage your safety once you're looking at the target, but you cannot shoot until that target passes those two tires, okay, which is 15 meters. Okay, so suggested you get on target over there as it's moving, because once that thing starts, you pick up your rifle like this, you're watching it, passes that line, and then you can engage it from there all the way to here, anywhere in between here. It's one shot. Okay, remember that target is coming through here, so you need to get out the way. Okay, you got to pay attention or it will hit you. Okay, and guys, honestly, after you shoot, the most important thing on this one we spoke about today is safety, safety, safety. After you shoot, you get out the way, your barrel's safe. Don't turn around and go, hey guys, that was good. Okay, I don't care that you fired that round already. Firearm doesn't point at anyone at any time. Okay, you will be disqualified for that. Okay, we'll reset the target. You'll get here, once the target's set, everyone's behind the line. You'll be instructed to put one more round in again, and you'll do the shoot again. Okay, exactly the same thing. Replicate it. If you made something mistake on the first one, think about it for the second one. This is possible 20 points right here. Okay, what?
Ready? And one.
Okay guys, we just completed the charging lion target part of the shoot, and we had some mixed results. As you can see, these markers are where the guys are hitting. Ideally, everybody should be trying to hit the green bullseye. That is your kill zone on most animals, or just over that. So for this proficiency shoot, you actually can score 10 points inside of this circle here. This circle here is 10 points, and that is about a 200 mil circle. The outside here was what it used to be. You get 5 points right now for shooting in this. That may just disappear soon. But you need to aim for this. That's what your goal needs to be on this charging line. The line comes from 25 meters. The two tires back there are at 15 meters. When it reaches that 15 meter mark is where you're allowed to shoot from anywhere there up to here. And ideally, you want to shoot it just on the edge of the grass here. So let it get nice and close. And a little bit of an advantage if you're standing in this line is to go down on one knee. And you can see then I'm shooting in line with the target. Then I don't have to follow it down. If I'm standing, I'm going to actually be shooting at this angle when it's close. But down on one knee, you shoot, you pick up your target, follow it in, and you're only going to move very slightly, give you much more accuracy. And it is the right way to shoot a charging lion, actually. This is supposed to replicate buffalo, lion, or anything, but on the lion in particular, that's what you will do. So keep that in mind, and that'll help you on this one.